Welcome to the Blue Collar Millionaire Show. I am your host, Chad Hufford, and this is the podcast where we celebrate the unsung heroes of the working world. Each week, we dive into the incredible stories of honest, hardworking folks who have found financial success through grit, determination, and good old-fashioned elbow grease. So if you're ready to be inspired and learn how to turn your hard work into your own success story, you're in the right place. This is the Blue Collar Millionaire Show. Welcome again to another episode of the Blue Collar Millionaire Show. I'm Chad Hufford. This is one of my financial planners, Greg Parret, with us here today. And one of the questions that we sometimes get asked is, why do you guys have your fees embedded ongoing into my portfolio rather than just charge me for the consultations when I come see you? And there's a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, and you've alluded to this a couple times before, Greg, is like we want to be on the same side of the table, right, as our clients. So when they're going through a temporary decline, which we remind them is when the best companies in the world are on sale, they're seeing it on paper. We're seeing it in our paychecks. And it's a lot easier to encourage somebody to stay the course when they know you're in the storm with them.
Right.
You know, you're getting wet, you're uncomfortable, and we're going to weather this together. But, you know, there's a lot of other reasons for that. And a big part of it is holding people accountable on an ongoing basis to what's hard, what's difficult, and even when they don't feel like doing the right thing or having the conversation. And you reminded me of a metaphor I used when somebody was basically, you know, viewing a financial consultant more as an order taker, you know, right, a waiter just taking your order. What was?
Yeah, so it was actually really funny what you had, and I've used this several times since then. But what you had told me the story. You said, "Hey, I talked to this guy. He came to me and he said, I want you to invest me in X, Y, and Z," right? Normally the orders that people will give us is, hey, I want to be in, you know, the new latest stock that's coming out or a crypto or whatever. And you said, no, I'm not going to do that because that makes me a drug dealer. And I can imagine that he was probably taken aback by that. But then you furthered the point and you said, well, I want you to think about a doctor, okay? You go to a doctor's office and you talk to that doctor and you say, I want you to give me this drug. And the doctor says, well, as your doctor, I'm diagnosing you with a different problem, but I'll go ahead and give you that drug because that's what you want. That doctor's now changed themselves from being a doctor to being a drug dealer.
Yeah, you're giving somebody what they want at the moment rather than what they need to actually solve their problem. And I haven't used that because I'd forgotten that. But it's so true, though, in the financial industry is people go, and it'd be like, to kind of further that metaphor, you've got places now, these online pharmacies where you're supposed to do without a prescription. They have some doc in a box somewhere that takes it and you fill out this stuff and you just pay a fee. You pay a fee and get whatever you want. But it's that same thing. It's just you pay for what you want in the moment, not what you need in the long run. And again, there's a lot of issues with that. There's some phrase it's or some saying that prescription without diagnosis is malpractice, right? But our financial industry does it all the time. We prescribe something. And I think when you have a consultation type relationship, that's what it ends up being. Not even that the financial professional isn't trying to do what's best, but you haven't built the relationship capital. And what we do requires so much trust and relationship. In fact, I was just talking with somebody today on a different podcast about how you need to continue to meet with your financial planner, right? Even if you don't think anything's changed, you don't have any big questions, just to catch up, review goals, talk about what's important in your life, because at some point that financial planner, that financial professional is going to have to dip into relationship capital, because there will be a point in your life where things aren't going well. Whether it's you personally, maybe you're going through divorce, a loss of a loved one, you've lost your job, or more global scale, a recession, major financial collapse. you're going to both have to dip into that relationship capital. You're not going to get that on a fee for consultation. It just doesn't happen.
We were talking before off camera a little bit, and you were talking about the problem with a fee for consultation is also, it's kind of just taking a snapshot in time and then sending the person kind of down the road.
Yep. And it's, think of it like car insurance. You don't buy car insurance on the days you think you're going to get in an accident.
Yeah.
And there might be days that are more like, this is a really icy day. I am more likely to get I should buy car insurance today. That might be true. But how many car accidents have we seen right outside on Tudor Road on clear sunny days, people just slamming into each other? I mean, it's on a monthly basis, we see car accidents. We had 2 just last week.
Right.
But the point of car insurance is that you're insured all the time. You have somebody holding you accountable, worrying about your finances for you, making sure that all those pieces are fitting together. But here's the difference between what we do and what other people do, or what we do and what insurance does. So your car insurance replaces your car after an accident or replaces damage. The beauty of the relationship capital that we build is that it helps prevent the accident from ever happening. Mm-hmm. And again, that doesn't work with a consultation. You have to have a relationship. You have to have that ongoing, and to be able to reach out and to not just have questions answered, but sometimes to get help framing questions you didn't even know you had. Like it takes time to develop that. And we do help people stave off mistakes long before they're ever made. And just a while ago, we had an episode with Chris, a longtime client, who had a conversation with my father about temporary volatility and things like that. And those conversations that they had laid the groundwork for future financial decisions that served him very, very well. But it was those conversations that he wouldn't have paid my dad $500 to have a conversation with him. Exactly. So what ends up happening is you don't ask some of your questions because you don't think they're important enough. And then those small little bits of anxiety, those small questions end up becoming big flames down the road. And then it's almost too late to do anything. So I think looking at a good financial professional as mistake insurance. They're not there to just help you solve problems. They're to help you create a way around the problem before you even get there.
One of the analogies I really like is life seems to throw us a whole bunch of bombs, and it's our job to defuse them before they blow you up.
Yeah, no, that is good. I've not heard that before, but I like that. And our financial media is throwing bombs all the time.
Oh yeah. And
for people being able to say, hey, here's what I got today. Do I need to worry about this thing?
Right.
Is again, it's so huge. I've had 5-minute conversations that have saved people from $500,000 mistakes. And some people even said, like, I was pretty sure I knew what you were going to say, but I just need to hear it from you. Like, and it goes back to that more than just a financial planner. It's a trusted guide, somebody they're in the foxhole with you, and they're telling you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to hear. But people are more willing, they're more able to take those tough truths because they know they're delivered with love and care.
Definitely. And I think that it's important for people to know also that we're not always just the people that say, no, you can't afford this. So I had a client, I don't know, it was a while back, but this guy, he's still working. He's set up very well, but he called me and he said, hey, Greg, I got an opportunity to buy a piece of cabin property, a property, put a cabin on in rural Alaska. Can I afford it? And we did a review, and he is definitely able to afford it. And it's not going to hurt him to meet his goals in retirement still. So it's nice to have somebody that can give you that assurance as well.
Yeah, not just help you avoid the wrong decisions, but walk with confidence in the right decisions so you can fully enjoy. We had to talk a client into buying a car here recently. And it was really fun because there's something she'd never had a new car. And it was really is one of the biggest purchases she's ever made. And just a lot of anxiety around it, but getting her not just to make the purchase, but make the purchase fully enjoy it because she knew that it wasn't going to hurt her. That came from a lot of little conversations, and that's not somebody's not going to reach out and pay a fee to have that conversation.
Right.
It's and that's when we get to take off our hats as financial advisors and put on our caps as friends. That's, I think, where that best value can be made, where people realize we might care more about we probably do care more about their financial future than anybody that doesn't have their last name.
So let me ask the question that I'm sure people are screaming right now into their AirPods. Well, what is your fee?
1% of assets under management. And if you think about it, like if we can help improve somebody's long-term returns by more than 1%, we pay for ourselves. If we can help people avoid costly mistakes that cost more than 1%,
more than 1% oftentimes,
then we pay for it, pay for ourselves. If we can free up people's mental energy and even anxiety because they're paying us to worry about their future so they can enjoy the present, is that worth more than 1%? All the planning, the financial education, the financial coaching, we tell people we don't just help you be or identify better investments, but become better investors. Is that worth 1%? Each of those four things could by itself be worth 1%. But when you combine them together, that's the beauty of this, is there is a price that people pay, but in the long run, there's not a cost because there's so much value added. And I don't want this to seem like a commercial, but to see the stories that we see, to hear the stories that we hear and see people navigate through difficult decisions, helping them make the right ones, avoid the wrong ones, and feel confident and secure, you're not going to get that with a consultation.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And, one thing I tell people as well is we try to do this, of course, as ethically as possible. That goes without saying, but also to the point of we take very few clients over the long term because we want to have ourselves free to talk with those people and live life with these people and have those opportunities to guide them and be available.
Right. And if you have a lot of customers, you're not going to be able to, you might be able to give good advice. You might be able to provide insight, provide good financial resources and products, but to actually transform somebody's life, it requires a relationship that's deeper than more than just a customer. I mean, a lot of our clients have become friends.
Oh yeah.
And we've walked through difficult things. I mean, we've had so many deaths just in the last few months, losing clients or clients losing family members. We had somebody that lost both of their remaining siblings just in the last few months. And she's young still, and it's like walking through those difficult moments. You can't do that trying to serve everybody.
Right. And then, part of what we do as well is, since we get to know families and we get to know beneficiaries and that sort of thing, we actually get to be a part of that process with helping people. And that's a huge burden of stress, is like, hey, mom and dad just passed away. I have everything that I'm dealing with their estate right now. It sure is nice to have somebody available.
Well, it goes back to that peace of mind, right? If you think about the idea of insurance, like insurance is something you buy hoping you don't need, but hiring a financial planner is a good financial planner is insurance you buy knowing you will need it at some point. There will be a point where you will retire. There, even if you don't, there will be a point where you're no longer at your job, either because you died or you can't be. Even if you don't retire, there'll be a point where all these things have to be dealt with. So it's an insurance policy against mistakes that you will need. I mean, you buy insurance for your car hoping you never get in a car accident, insurance on your house hoping your house never catches fire. But you will go through recessions. You will have market declines, economic uncertainty. You will have loss in your family. You will leave your job at some point, either walking out the door voluntarily, being fired, or being carried out by 6 pallbearers. I mean, at some point, all those, your family will deal with your loss at some point. So it's inevitability that you're going to have some of these events in your life. And I think somebody's financial future is just too important to go at it alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So just wrapping things up a little bit, Chad, I mean, this is why I feel really blessed to work in a place like this. We work for that 1% fee, and that 1% fee really allows us to integrate into people's lives for our lifetime. I mean, I don't know if you're ever planning on retiring, but I think I'll probably do this forever.
Yeah, as long as I'm coherent, can string good sentences together, I continue to do this. But yeah, that fee, it doesn't just cover. I mean, really, what people are paying for is not. I mean, investment management, that's like a bonus. It's really the planning and the coaching and the accountability is the relationship. It's the guiding them through the financial tools that they get. That's just part of the package.
Certainly. And one thing that you missed just a little bit is that it's also a community, I've noticed as well, because we put on events, and I've had people talk to me about like, hey, I met so-and-so at one of your events and they have a super cool story. So it also becomes like this Veritas community. It's pretty fun.
Well, and to that point, we charge 1% because I think we work with the 1%. And I don't mean the 1% in wealth and income and things like that, but we work with just a very high character, high caliber class of individual. And we are trying to do that, build community, because we're asking people to go against the grain and to do things differently than 90+% of the world around them. Certainly 90+% of the people in the United States. And that is hard. It is hard to do it alone. I guess if we were to make a cute saying, community is more important than a consultation. I mean, you've got to have,
I like that.
You've got to have the people around you that are doing it with you rather than just a check-in when you feel like it. Right. It's like your gym membership. I mean, people struggle going to the gym already as it is. Think of how fewer times you would work out if you only paid for the days you showed up. Like if every time you went in, you pay a daily rate. Like that's all people need is one more excuse not to go to the gym.
Exactly.
But if like, hey, I'm already paying for this, I might as well show up. It actually, it puts your money where your butt needs to be. And I think that's an important piece of people using us. Like they're already paying for our advice. They might as well use it. And there's so many conversations we've had that people didn't think were that impactful when they asked the question. And then it moved into a deeper conversation or set the stage for something else in the future. And we can tie it back to maybe an email that triggered a phone call that triggered this and created a huge financial benefit in that person's life that didn't seem like that big of a deal when the conversation started.
It's awesome. Yeah. The trickle down effect sometimes is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it, Chad. I think it was super insightful, and I hope that it brings clarity to some people about why we charge what we charge and why we believe in it.
Well, and thank you for reminding me about the drug dealer metaphor too, because we're going to listen to what hurts, find out what you need to accomplish, where the pain is, and prescribe a treatment plan based on that, not write a script based on what you walked in the door asking for.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for listening to the Blue Collar Millionaire Show. We hope this episode has been inspiring and beneficial to you. If you want help on your journey to financial freedom, reach out to us at veritasalaska.com. We'd love to sit down over a cup of coffee with you, either here in our office or virtually, and get to know you and your needs. And though this podcast is free of charge, we do ask that you please do us 2 quick favors. If you enjoyed the episode, give our pod a great rating on iTunes or whatever podcast platform you use, and also give us a follow on Instagram. We hope you have a wonderful day filled with gratitude and intentionality. God bless.
The information expressed is for general information only and is not intended to provide specific investment advice or recommendations for any individual. It is suggested that you consult your financial professional, attorney, or tax advisor with regard to your individual situation. Hypothetical investment results are for illustrative purposes only and should not be deemed a representation of future results.